Hello Budgie Nation, in today's video we are discussing how many budgies can you own. In this kind of cage you can keep only pair of budgies.
Budgies are kind and amiable. They are easygoing and they enjoy sharing company with each other if acquired at a young age. The budgie birds have human qualities. They love to enjoy the same age birth and rarely enjoy with older or younger than them. Many researchers have found out that acquiring birds at a young age is good. They will consider you to be a member of their family much sooner than compared to older budgie birds. How many budgies can enjoy in a cage? Keeping in pairs in a cage is good, as they interact with each other. In general, a pair of budgies would be happier than one single budgie. They are sociable birds and live in large flocks in the wild. More than 2 birds can recreate the noise of a flock. If you acquire one bird in a cage, you need to give proper time to budgie birds as they need attention. If you work for 12 hours or more, then you're advised to get at least 2 budgies at a time. Clean the budgie's cage at least once a week. This will keep the budgies safe from different kinds of diseases. What is the perfect size for a cage? As budgies are gentle and playful, the size of the cage should be large enough so they can fly in the cage. You might save some money and buy a flight cage for budgies. Yet some cages are very cute for budgies, but they won't provide a decent home. Therefore, compromising with the size of cage will ultimately lead to the physical and mental health of budgies. The perfect sizes for budgie cages. Be aware, this is the minimum size for budgies. Bigger is better, and the budgie is happier. Why budgie needs a companion? Budgies are sociable. Keeping one budgie in a cage means that you're risking their mental health. Budgie needs at least one companion so they can play with them while you're not at home. They are communicating with each other, serenading each other, playing together. 4 budgies in a cage are enough where they can recreate the noise that creates your house noisily. If you desire for budgies of the opposite sex, then you need to plan on having a big cage for them, as female budgies lay eggs up to 4 to 6 at a time. This means you have to buy the flight cage for 6 budgie birds. If you are not comfortable with many budgie birds, get the same sex. It's okay to let your budgie bird out of their cages with their companions to enjoy the atmosphere. You should consider care and safety so that they cannot run away from your home. Male budgies tend to be more friendly than the females. It's a fact, and you don't need to think that we are considering females low. No, not at all. Everyone has a different nature. Having 3 males could be a definite advantage if you would like all to get on. Usually, the new bird can get picked on at first. Budgies are flock birds, however, and they still ought to establish a hierarchy among their flock. It looks as if the other is going on with the older bird and obtaining sidelines. Whereas you can't really control how your birds behave, you may minimize the possibilities of infighting by increasing the number of feed bowls in the cage. Rearranging the layout of the cage by placing the perches and toys. It would be easier if your cage was on the larger side so that the birds have plenty of space to get away from one another if a fight breaks out. Worst case scenario, you may have to separate the bird who's getting picked on. It's better to own the largest bird cage you can afford so that you can provide as much space as possible for your budgies to move around. Because budgies fly more than up and down, select a cage with more length than height. The cage must be constructed with 1/2 inch bars, or 1.27 centimeters, spacing it to make it easier for your budgie to climb around and keeping it from getting stuck in the bars. Avoid bamboo cages or any material your budgie could chew through to escape. Introducing new budgies to your older budgie. Many budgies are different from each other. It comes down to a few types: male budgies, female budgies, small budgies, or older budgies. At first, they don't like to share their room with other new companions, but with the passage of time, they started interacting with each other. Once you bought your new budgie, keep it separate in its own cage during the quarantine. After sending the budgie in a cage, you must check the reaction of the old folks. This sounds like placing a stranger in your bedroom without your consent. Keep the cages side by side and allow socialization to take place in neutral territory so that they can interact with each other in separate cages. The budgies will ultimately select the residence they prefer by introductory visits to one another's cages. When you finally introduce your birds to one another, place them in neutral territories, such as a play stand, and allow them to choose their favorite cage. This method will allow both parakeets to remain tame and interact with you as well as with one another. What happens when you put too many budgies in a cage? If you keep acquiring many budgie birds and putting them all into one cage, it will create a noise and health issue between budgies. They will start irritating each other, and chances are they will fight with one another due to suffocation in the cage. A cage is not just a cage for them. It's a home where they live, sleep, play, and fly. They won't like to live in a suffocating area. They want freedom within their cage. It's better to have more than 2 cages for many budgies. Putting too many budgies in a cage will risk the lives of the birds. Budgies might get ill. It is possible that putting too many budgies into one cage can equal neglect by the owner. If you want to enjoy your time with your budgies, it's better to own 2 or 4, in a cage or in your house. Although it's a house, not a zoo, you too have your privacy. Here are some key things you need to keep in mind about budgies before buying one. They need a large space to fly, as we said. Can you provide daily time outside of the cage for your budgie? Are you able to give them enough attention? Are you aware that they're loud? A healthy budgie should have clean and smooth feathers, an alert and upright posture, clear and regular breathing, and no discharge around its beak, eyes, or ears. If budgies fly singe for long periods of time, they become lonely, depressed, and sick. Having a companion will keep them happy and joyful.
And that's it. Thank you all for watching. If you want more videos, make sure to subscribe and like this video.
Watch next, previous video, or you should get your budgie a bath. Visit our official webpage for more information and budgie care.